All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell. All right, I want to continue talking about anti Semitism, and I want to continue to talk about the gap between entertainers, athletes, and scholars. And I think that this whole thing, this is like at the crux of all the problems that we're having. And I know a lot of people, they may or may not believe that, but here's my take on it. All right, the first thing is like all this stuff like with Ice Cube, Cardi B, Kanye West, whoever else, the TIs of the world and all these people. All right, first of all, these people are entertainers. All right, they created. As a matter of fact, there was a post that came out about Jay-Z, where they were saying, that, hey, you helped create the crack babies, you helped create the gang epidemic and the crack epidemic and drugs and all of that, and most of these people, most of these rappers and performing artists, their claim to fame is that they used to either be drug dealers or they used to be gang members or they got shot or all these people. So my thing is that those are not the people that I want representing me. I don't know if you want them representing you, but as far as being a black man, I don't want those type of people representing me. I mean, and yeah, they could have turned over a new leaf, but a lot of it to me seems to me like what the kids say, them trying to stay relevant or be relevant. All right, and that's what it is. A lot of it is to me. Now, I'm not saying that some of them don't have genuine genuine concerns and all that kind of stuff, but those are not the people that we should be looking to. Just like Biden has now agreed to meet with Ice Cube. For what? It's like, but it's all because he's pushing this agenda that, that he has to buy the black vote. And he actually, that's the thing, they using the words buy the black vote. It's like, that's not what it's about. What it's about, it should be about what is the mindset? What is your mindset? What do you think? How are you thinking about how the future is going to go? And that's what this whole election cycle should be about. I mean, and then it also should be broken down into leadership. It is proven Trump is not a good leader. He just isn't. I mean, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever he was, or whatever he is, or whatever he claims to be, he's not a good leader. And that's why he needs to go. So the agenda for black people should be to get a leader in there that'll take care of the COVID-19, the whole coronavirus thing. He has done a very poor job with coronavirus. There are people, where we have like the highest death rate. We have supposedly the best medical system in the world, but we have the highest death rate from COVID. So why is that? It's because of poor leadership. It's because of a lack of getting up there and saying, okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's make some decisions. And he's not the one that's making those decisions. Second of all, Biden was vice president for Obama. Everybody is complaining about Biden and Obama. Okay, and then here's something that one of my Facebook friends, and one of my frat brothers, we talked about yesterday. And this was the thing. It's like the Democrats have not been in control of the entire Congress or the White House for decades. So everything, the government that you're getting is pushed to you by the Republicans. So why aren't you holding the Republicans more accountable than you're holding the Democrats? And the reason why the Democrats don't have that power is why? Because you're not voting them in. You're not voting him in. And this goes back to my basis is you have to vote. Because we don't have control of the House or the Senate. That's why when President Trump got impeached, that's how come we couldn't get him out. We couldn't get him out because we don't have the votes. Because we don't vote. Because we're not politically active. Because we don't know what's going on. Now, the anti-Semitic thing with Nick Cannon, he's another one. We got all of these entertainers. Nick Cannon is an actor / rapper. slash, television producer. Okay. Great guy. Not nothing against him. In fact, nothing against none of these people, but you need to stay in your lane. And the people that should be out there talking, the people who should be out there pushing a political agenda are not. Why? Because we as black people don't look to them as our leadership. And the people that used to be our leadership, we don't like them. Or we find a way to put them down, or to get rid of them, or to make them insignificant or irrelevant. We have had people out there, and now they're no longer viable to us. But these are not the people that the rappers are not the people that we need. They're the ones that led the force against getting us locked up. Just like, okay, yeah, Biden may have wrote the crime bill, but black folks helped put people in jail. Listen again. The crime bill may have been there, the laws are there, but we facilitated breaking the law. We facilitated breaking the law. In the neighborhoods, who's selling dope on the street corners in the neighborhoods? Black folks. And I know this may be unpopular or whatever, but that's the truth. The truth is, look, there's a law against murder. As long as you don't murder anybody, it'll never affect you. Rappers were the one who glorified bitches and hoes and niggas. Bitches and hoes and niggas were glorified by black rappers, black entertainers. That's who talked it up. No matter how it got out there, that's how it got out there. And so we have to understand that, look, we also have a vested a vested concern in this entire thing. We're not innocent. Like, oh, Biden just made a crime bill, then they locked all the black folks up. Not true. Not true. There's a whole bunch of young black kids that never, just like me, for example. I grew up in a gang-infested Detroit, Michigan. Anybody that knows Detroit, y'all know that when in the 80s and in the late 70s, the early 80s and all of that, there were gangs. And then even in the late 80s, we had all these different gangs. But the bottom line is, and then, the whole West Coast scene, it was Ice Cube. Ice Cube perpetuated the West Coast scene. All of those gangster rap records, you can't make gangster rap records for 20 years and then turn around and say, oh, well, now I want a political agenda. Your political agenda was trying to get young black men and women to sell drugs and to glorify calling women bitches and hoes. That was your agenda. Be honest. Look, people got to stop being honest. You got to be honest. You can't just sit up there and say, oh, and then, oh, this person, it sounds like, what it sounds like to me? It sounds like Trump. Ice Cube sounds like Trump. You know why? Because he's trying to, how Trump never takes responsibility for anything and is just trying to blame somebody else. Oh, it's this person's fault. It's that person's fault or whatever. Not true. Not true at all. And you know why it's not true? It's not true because of the fact that you help facilitate it. And you can't say look, NWA started gangster rap. Gangster rap undid literally hundreds, thousands of families. All of those people that were in jail, all of those people, they were what? They were listening to what you were saying. F the police. I ain't saying it ain't, I'm not mad at you for making the records. I'm not mad at you for making your movies and doing all that. That's fine. But the sad part is that most young black children do not realize the difference between entertainment and real life because it's never been explained to them, and it hasn't been emphasized to them that, look, this is not how you're supposed to live. But we have literally thousands of black men and women in prisons right now because of gangster rap music. See Dolores Tucker back in the day, everybody tried to talk bad about her and this, that, and the other thing. She was like, look, it's just it's pathetic. It's like, look, we were trying to say, and she was saying, look, all of this influence because we were looking at it as, oh, this is just innocent, but it wasn't innocent. There were people literally going to jail and dying because of the music. And I love music, and I love movies and all of that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. You know, I was, like I said, I was a DJ for I played on the radio for 27 years. Every day. Because I love music. But there was a point where it got to, and I'm going to tell you where there were 2 radio station owners that I worked for, and I was pretty close to them. And one of them called me into his office, and we were sitting there talking and drinking coffee. And he said, you know what, love? He said, I can't play this music anymore in good conscience. He's like, we can't put this on the air and play this every day in good conscience. He's like, is your conscience clear? Do you will you play these records, and they talk about murder and drugs, and even the music now, it hasn't changed. The music that is out there in hip hop right now, what does it do? It promotes drug use, drug abuse, violence, misogyny against women, the whole 9 yards. It's still out there. And that's why I keep on trying to push this thing. Like, look, rappers and entertainers and athletes and all of that, look, they're good at what they do, but they are not scholars. They're not intellectual. And they may be intellectual, and yes, they have a right to their opinion. I'm not saying they don't have the right to their opinion, but when we got leaders like Biden going out trying to track down Ice Cube because Ice Cube is saying so many bad things, it's the fact of, just like on social media, they have influencers. All right? These people are influencers. Even though what they're saying is probably completely dead wrong, the influencer in them is what gets people's attention. Just like Kanye West. It's ridiculous. And we know, and I used to think that, at first I thought he was crazy. And then I was like, no, this is actually a concerted effort. He's working for it. Just like I said, look, Ice Cube, Kanye West, Nick Cannon, they all might as well what? They might as well just, they might as well be Russians. They might as well be Russian bots on the internet. Because right now, the unique agenda that everybody in America should have, whether you're black or white, red, yellow, green, whatever, is to get Trump out because he's not doing a good job. Look, let me tell you something. If Trump would have done a good job with COVID-19, he would win in a landslide. If he would have came up and been presidential and had leadership qualities, he would have won easily. He would have won easily because people would have stayed behind him. Because if he would have shut down COVID-19 like in its tracks, like they did over in Italy, like they did in China, it would have been a no-brainer. In fact, I probably would have voted for him if he would have took leadership. See, the election ain't about all this other crap. It's about leadership, because things are going to come at us, and whatever comes up, we need a leader that can deal with the things that are going to happen. Now I haven't talked about the anti-Semitism as much as I'd like to in this video, but I'm gonna talk about it on the next video. But remember, these people are out there and they're paid. That's another thing. Remember, rappers and actors and entertainers and athletes, they're paid to perform. They're actors. Look up the word actor. They act. What they're doing is not always reality. So you got to understand that we need real leaders, people that have studied, people that have gone and have analyzed and have given an intellectual thought process to everything that's going on. But just to say, oh, don't vote for Biden because he don't like black people, that's dumb. Okay, so he was the vice president to the first black president. So if he don't like black people, then probably would have came out then. Anyway, Fastest 15 Minutes is up. You know, I'm kind of, I don't know. Anyway, Fast 15 Minutes is up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, but most of all, hit the love button.